Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome again to the What's Next in Cars podcast from AutoNext. I'm back here with Rob and I'm Bo. And yeah, we'll be discussing some more topics, some weekly news we've seen, things that have caught our eye, and some maybe heated discussions as well coming up on on different topics. How are you doing, Rob, today?
Yeah, great. Let's go right into it.
Yeah, we have a lot of cool cars.
It was a busy week, huh?
Busy week.
Car news, so it was nice.
So we have the new Renault R5 Turbo 3E that was unveiled.
Super cool.
It was a concept before. Now
Yeah,
it's
now it's official.
Yeah, it's official, and it's really cool.
I do love it. Normally, yeah, we all do love these small electric cars.
I just love hot hatches.
Okay, but in general, the small electric car makes sense.
Yeah,
And
that does, yeah.
Renault with this thing, they just push it to the extreme with it, and it looks absolutely bonkers. Nobody was thinking they would release such a crazy idea that was so close to the concept.
Yeah, it looks like a concept car still.
And it's a thing that Renault manages to do very well these last years with, the Twingo, for example, that will
or
close,
the R5 as well.
or the Renault 5. Exactly. So they still managed to bring the concept to the roads in such an incredible way, and this thing is just again their way of proving it.
It's going to be a 500 horsepower. If you can see behind me, it's going to be 500 horsepower, 2 electric motors.
So 4-wheel drive?
No, 2 at the back. So it's rear-wheel drive, 500 horsepower. It'll do 0 to 60 in about 3.5 seconds. 800-volt architecture, 400 kilometers of range, and everything in the back is going to be empty. So
just like the OG,
just like the old one.
Yeah.
I think they told it'll also have a front.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just to put your charging cable.
Yeah. But as you can see, super cool bucket seats.
It even has a roll cage.
It has a roll cage as well.
Nice. And the bucket seats do remind me of the Senna seats. Somehow they look.
They look quite similar. But the party piece for me is in the interior.
Yeah. It has this.
Has a rally style handbrake.
Great.
So yeah.
That's something to try out.
Super cool car. I think deliveries are expected 2027.
Okay, so we still need to be patient to see it on the road.
They're going to build 1,980 cars.
That's a lot because it's quite expensive, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they should build more than just 2,000.
Yeah, but
they should just build as much as
customers want.
Yeah.
Maybe they will, but this is also always coming in that specific livery, or
I'm not sure. Okay. Details haven't been fully set. The orders are going live in just a few weeks.
Okay, then we'll see how many people jump on the car.
Yeah, because you'll have to put a deposit down, and they'll use a deposit as well to develop the car. So
exactly.
If you're looking at the R5 Turbo that's coming out, hit up your Renault dealer because
this is going to be a really cool thing.
If they do it well, it's going to be one of the cooler electric cars available.
Yeah, exactly, and definitely with that little.
Oh yeah, the handbrake. It's also funny because in the press release it says it'll go up to 270 kilometers an hour, and then in brackets it's like on racetracks. So be responsible with your handbrake as well.
Exactly. A very cool thing. I'm really looking forward to see that in real life.
Yeah, very cool. My family had R5, so this is.
My dad also used to have one. Yeah, but a normal one. But
my dad bought the R5 GT Turbo for my grandparents, and they didn't know it was a GT Turbo.
And that's the thing. That's how you should do it.
And they were like,
"5," and then
wait. After 10,000 kilometers, the tires are gone. What's happening?
Exactly. It accelerates quite fast. This normal.
But yeah, looking forward to that. We've got some new rumors as well from McLaren.
Okay, no supercar this time.
No supercar. But they had a new investment firm from I think Abu Dhabi. It came in last year by December, And since then, I think maybe they pushed them and they're going to build an SUV.
Yeah, following the steps of all the other
Yeah, so
all the other ones.
it makes sense. Maybe not all people will like it, but I think it's what McLaren needs.
It will make sense because it will be, just an option to just keep the brand alive.
Yeah, and I think
And to get more customers involved into the brand.
that also, I think if you can sell someone who hasn't driven a McLaren and you can sell him an SUV and he's like, oh, this is really nice.
Exactly.
Maybe I should get a 750 or an Artura.
And it's with all brands, but if you look at the numbers of sales at Lamborghini for Urus, the Urus is the car that keeps
the
all
cash
the
cow,
others alive. And even if people might not like the Urus, well, at least it's keeping Huracan or Temerario or Renault there for.
It's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a fast SUV or super SUV, it still doesn't make any sense. But
No,
if it's there to keep a brand alive and if they're still able to give us the cars that we love at the end of the day.
It's what people want these days, even though they're wrong. It's what people want.
Also true. Yeah, they just want a fast, big SUV with a lot of power and something that looks cool.
And I think similar to what Ferrari has done with the Purosangue,
Exactly.
because Ferrari says it's not really an SUV, even though it looks like one. McLaren has the opportunity to do something very well with this car.
Yeah.
They can really make a car that sets it apart. It just needs to be comfortable, which McLaren usually does it really well. Quite fast. And
I don't see a problem in that too. But
yeah, and just a very good car, driving wise.
and it should look just.
It should be
It should be a pretty car too, because a lot of SUVs here, you see them and you're like, I'm not convinced. A DBX, the 707, it's beautiful. It looks good. The latest Bentley Bentayga, it looks super good too.
super big car.
So I think there's a lot of possibilities to create a good looking super SUV.
Yeah, but I think this could potentially be the best driving SUV on the market if it comes out. When it comes out, sorry.
If you look at the driving side of it, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But then onto some sadder news through the vinyl music. Not yet. So if you're still debating on buying one, please just go to it right now, because it's going to be the end of production for the Giulia Quadrifoglio and the Stelvio Quadrifoglio.
And for when is it scheduled? Like
somewhere this year. I haven't found any concrete dates because there's a lot of different dates floating around.
All right.
But it's coming to an end, and there's no other Quadrifoglio.
There's nothing scheduled behind.
No, because the Tonale.
Tonale,
I just call it the toenail. It's not an Alfa Romeo chassis.
Yeah, it's not gonna get a Q.
So there's no Q platform going to be developed. Then there's the Junior. The Junior, I think, also isn't. It's
no. It's
Stellantis
exactly.
multi-platform. So really doubting if that's going to get a Q version.
It's a shame because it was a wonderful
it's a
branch
signature
of
Romeo,
Romeo,
and
so.
it's a legacy that spans decades.
Yeah, it's
And
quite sad because the latest ones are super good looking, super solid, actually really good driving cars.
they're actually quite reliable as well. I haven't seen.
Well, I've seen many with a lot of high mileages on.
Yeah.
People use them as daily drivers and no big issues
Yeah,
at all.
especially the Stelvio. I haven't driven the Stelvio, but with the four-wheel drive system,
Sounds
people
like a really
really
great
love
car.
it. It's a really good driving car.
And it still looks good.
I've driven the Giulia. It's a stonkingly good car.
Giulia is crazy. Giulia is crazy.
You have to be careful with the traction control.
Yeah,
especially when it's cold.
Yeah, their DNA settings, it's silly.
Yeah, if you want to have the exhaust valves of the Akrapovic fully open, then you have to go into race, and then it automatically turns off the traction control. So
Completely.
you cannot have the coolest sound coming out of the car without being completely on your own, which is
it's quite dangerous.
a recipe for disaster, really.
It's quite dangerous.
But they're such thrilling cars to drive. They're very well finished as well.
Feels super solid.
It feels super solid. They have the latest tech as well, Apple CarPlay, very good infotainment.
And they hold value really well too.
True.
Somehow.
And I think even because it is a derivative, Ferrari won't confirm it, but it is a derivative of the 488 engine.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can have a mini Ferrari. You can still have a mini Ferrari now if you buy one. And that's going to be gone because I don't think we'll see
Stellantis mindset.
I don't think we'll see like the next, the successor to the Giulia or the Stelvio have like a baby 296 engine.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I really doubt it. It's quite a shame because honestly, it's just such an incredible piece.
It's such cool. But then maybe some better news, some new news is we have a new electric Mercedes. Well, not purely electric because there's also
It's still going to come in a hybrid,
a mild hybrid or a full hybrid.
Okay.
You'll still have electrified powertrains, but yeah.
New
CLA?
Mercedes-Benz CLA, exactly. Honestly, I do think that the outgoing gen was still a good looking car. It didn't look old.
No, true.
Not at all.
But I'm really glad that Mercedes has changed their philosophy on the EQ lineup. So it's not going to be called EQ CLA.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank the Lord, because that's a mouthful. They're going back to building one car that is both electrified
and with just a regular ICE engine.
With regular ICE engine. That's a tongue twister for some reason. But they're going to be quite normal looking. I'm not fully sold on
the front end. Looks a bit weird though.
It's the light bar in the
front.
The
light bar that's unnecessary.
It looks really
sad.
This is the current trend. We need to to join this.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think Mercedes in past years they've done really well with their own design and not follow a trend but create
now
a trend.
They are following a trend which is not the best one. Yeah. But it's a good looking car in general.
From the back, it's a really nice looking car. I think also, and CLA has always been this. It has one of the lowest coefficients of drag.
Yeah.
So the upside benefit is very low consumption, electric consumption. I think they're rated at 12.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers.
That's really which is for that type of car.
Yeah. To compare, we just released a video on the electric G class.
3 times.
Well, yeah, the average consumption of the G class was 36 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers.
That's massive.
And you could really feel just the way the wind was blowing is how much it changes.
Typical G-Wagon stuff.
Yeah. But on electric car, it's more pronounced. This will be up to 800 kilometers of range.
We should try it out. I'm really curious to see how far we actually get with one of those.
Yeah, we should do like a range test with a few electric cars and see who.
Because if they say it's gonna almost do 800 kilometers, that's really impressive compared to the competition today. So it's gonna be really nice.
800 volt architecture. I think is this the first Mercedes with 800 volts?
I do think so. Yeah. They made a big thing out of it. So.
And charging speeds up to 300 kilowatt hours. Kilowatt. Sorry,
that's
kilowatt.
Really quite fast.
So 10 to 80% in 15 minutes.
Awesome.
So
then
bite of a croissant, coffee,
and you're good to go again. Okay.
Because the G class was like 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's incredibly slow. But it's not the car you would take on a long journey or whatever. So.
No. The G is really for day to day.
Exactly. But this might be a car you can take up if they say it's going to do 800 kilometers. It might.
Well, and we still need to wait out for the prices.
Yeah, not released yet.
It should be a really interesting car, and it should sell very well.
I'm really curious in the market price of it.
Yeah. And if you're taking the electric one, it also has a front, which I think is the first Mercedes as well.
Yes, because the normal EQs you can't even open the front.
And in the G class you can open the trunk, but it's not a trunk. It's just like a big piece of plastic.
But in the all other EQ models, there's no frunk.
No,
at all. So just nothing.
And the interior, I'm not too sure about the interior.
Just too many screens. That's my biggest concern. And it's not you can see that it's a more. how do I say it? It's more of a lifestyle car, you know?
Yeah.
You have lots of screens. It looks really nice, but it's not focused or built around the driver.
It's not built around practical use.
No, because the other or the outgoing gen, you had the MBUX, there was still a bit more focused around the driver, whereas this is just all about screens and a menu.
They do say this is the super screen, which is going to be an optional extra. I don't know. Sorry.
The other one is just limited to driver display and then the average multimedia system, but the optional passenger display is.
Yeah, I think it just looks too flat, and there's not enough else going around. It's very minimalistic.
It's too much focus around the screens, and that's it.
Yeah, and to be honest, a passenger display, who uses it?
Nobody uses it, you know. Everybody's
Again, it's like
phone
it's a trend that car manufacturers are rolling into. Audi has been doing it as well, but I think it's probably unnecessary production and development costs.
Yes, because I don't see a lot of people using those things. It's a really cool gimmick, but for example, if you're in the car with two and there's a song playing, whatever, you're like, oh, let me check your phone. I'm gonna put a song on. Yeah. You're not going inside on the screen searching for a song.
No,
nobody does that. And it's not like you have an extra passenger in the back. Then it would be really cool with like in an S-Class. Then the screen makes sense.
The screen makes sense.
But here, as a regular passenger, it doesn't make sense in my opinion. No. And it's just extra screens that might get dirty, filthy, or might get scratched on. I don't know. So
true. I think it just the dash itself, it just misses design.
Yeah,
because of
now the dashboard is just a screen.
Yep. But onto some other news, also German news.
All right, let's go.
We have the M5, which has been exceeding the M5 Touring, which has been exceeding sales expectations.
Well, apparently it's been selling very, very well because people love Tourings, which is really cool. Keep buying them, people.
Better than SUVs.
We do love estate cars. It's still the best car in the world, so keep that in mind. But BMW was expecting a 1/3 Tourings and 2/3 of regular 5-door sedans. But apparently it's 50-50 now. So they really need to scale up production of the Tourings, and it's apparently, that's what they're saying, US market. Because those are the people who are really waiting for it, and they don't.
Because the M3 Touring wasn't homologated to go to the US.
Exactly.
I don't think they had RS6, and everyone always wanted an RS6.
Yeah.
So
like
there was the E63, or wasn't?
E63 was.
Yes.
But that was the only one. So now there's a new car available for them, and a super station. And somehow Americans do love it.
Yeah,
which is great.
Because there's also the Cadillac, or there used to be like a CTS-V wagon.
Yeah.
Those things go for crazy money right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like $80,000 or $100,000.
It's an old car.
Yeah.
So okay, nice. So which is good for BMW that they're making again a lot of M cars. I'm happy to see that BMW the M5 is still it's a thing still. You know, it's good.
To be honest, like the 1/3, 2/3, I thought it was going to be indeed more as the current numbers predict, because when the M3 Touring released, they had such a big demand.
It was incredible.
Yeah, for the Touring.
They should have expected.
And they had to, also adjust the production as well.
Yeah, it's a car that makes more sense to people nowadays because, in general, people have more stuff, or when they go on holiday, they might take more stuff, or a dog, or.
Especially for a dog, it's super nice to get them into the trunk.
So much space for almost the same price. So why wouldn't you opt for it? And in general,
it comes with, we're talking about the M5, and I know weight is a sensitive issue, but an estate car will always be less than an SUV in terms of weight. If you would make this like an X5, it's going to be way more even than the M5.
It is. Yeah, and it's in general a better looking car, a Touring. More often it's a better looking car.
More often,
and it still has that, when people who are able to buy these things, they were not dreaming of an X5. They grew up with M5s or M3s, whatever. That's the car they want to buy.
Yeah, and I think especially with touring, the back arches they look nice because in the sedan it's a bit too bulky in the back.
Exactly. Yeah, with the touring it's much better, and yeah, it was still somehow that's like the legacy part of it. It's the first M5 touring since the E61 was like 14 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool thing that I was like, oh my god, I have a chance to buy an M5 touring. You know, maybe the next gen will not have an M5 touring, so let me get one right away.
Yeah, because they might not make one again. I think they will.
They will.
Because with the E61, it was just poor market time. It came out in a very bad economic place, and so it didn't really sell too well. And I think they did the same with
E34 was also
E34, and again it was in a bad place in the economic market.
Yeah, exactly. But now people are waiting.
Now people are crazy about it.
And it's very it's an expensive car. You know, you start at 140, I think.
And you've driven one this week, correct?
I've driven one this week, and I honestly loved it.
Okay, it's very interesting, because so many people have been bashing the car.
Well, that was my first thing too. Honestly, look-wise, it looks cool, but I was not sold on the looks right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then indeed, just like the entire interview, I was like, oh my god, it's such a heavy car. A little Cessna plane weighs less, you know. I'm like, I don't like it. M5 should be light, should be about the driving, not about deck and stuff. But then I drove it and I did understand more about what BMW is trying to do with the car.
Okay.
And I did really like it. And that's good because the gap between M3 Touring and M5 Touring is bigger. There's a big reason why you might want an M3 Touring or an M5 Touring.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So expect that on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's gonna
very soon.
It's gonna be a really cool review.
And then we were talking about the American market. But I have some more American news.
Go for it.
We have the Tesla Cybertruck.
Okay.
Bit of a blurry image here, but maybe we can just skip to the video. They have a recall that is coming on too.
Okay. For the people who are not watching the video podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
We will need to explain that it's like a video where an owner just shows that panels are falling off his Cybertruck.
Yeah. So the front panel, you can look a picture up on your phone, but you know the front panel.
The big front panel. Yeah.
It's the big front panel just below the light.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it's just glued onto it. It's glued onto the car.
So when it gets a little bit hot.
Yeah. So I think that the owner who made the video, he's from Florida, where
it gets pretty hot.
It gets hot, and with the tension, because there's like different marks to make the shape, it just popped out. And people have also been saying that it just flew off while driving, which is super dangerous.
Imagine you have an aluminum plate flying.
No, it's stainless steel, so it's way heavier.
Oh,
yeah,
super dangerous.
Yeah,
and it's like. Recall number how
Tesla is doing a recall now, but I think it's the 8th recall on the Cybertruck.
That's really not okay.
And that doesn't include all the software updates, because they can do a lot of recalls just over the air.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
this is quite a big one.
Yeah, but who glues panels like this on my car?
Well, remember Ferrari did it too with the 458.
Really?
Yeah, because that's why they flew into fire.
Okay, but
it was panels, but it was also
panels.
It was also glue.
Yeah, okay, but a lot of cars use adhesives for strength somewhere.
But for such a car, it should
a panel that especially a panel that's tensioned.
Yeah, that's really not okay. Yeah, that's really not okay. So not very good. So if you have a Cybertruck, please watch out and go to the Tesla center to get it fixed.
Or maybe at least currently use some duct tape. No, don't, because it will stay into the
stainless steel
because the stainless steel is untreated. And
so you'll get the marks on the duct tape.
If you wrap a Cybertruck, you'll never get the adhesives off anymore.
Wow. Okay, that's a good.
Watch out.
Yeah, don't do it.
Great car.
And expensive. Huh? Still 100 plus, no?
Yeah, but talking about expensive stuff.
Yeah, alright, show me.
We have the Tourbillon Pur Sang.
Ooh, nice, I like that.
Which I know, okay. What?
Well, yeah, it's.
Please explain.
is just an optional package that Bugatti launched, but like super below the radar because there wasn't even at first a press release on the website or something, or just an Instagram post.
No, indeed, I saw the Instagram post, which was the picture.
Yeah, with just these pictures.
Yeah, sorry again.
Sorry for those people who are just listening to on Spotify. But
Um,
it's super weird that they didn't make a big thing out of it, or they just launched it random when at the moment that people are now actually configuring the tourbillons, and they're like, oh, hold my beer, here's an optional package
Yeah.
that we just launched out of nowhere.
It has 8 exhausts.
Yeah, that's a bit of too much, I think. But besides the exhaust, it looks really nice. It has a redesigned diffuser, side skirts, a little bit more aggressive on the outside, a different kind of wheels. So that's really cool, I think. And then on the inside, you have these kind of bucket seats, not as epic as the Bolide, but they still do look really good, I think.
Yeah. True.
I'm not sure if it was a good move to launch it like now when people are still configuring their cars, or they should have launched it before and made a big thing out of it, or they just hold on for it and put all these things, you know, in a pure sport or in a super sport, whatever, because the styling of the tourbillon doesn't allow this somehow, you know, all this Alcantara and
Yeah, it's a classy looking car.
it's a very elegant car, and the Chiron could handle that, you know, because it looked really aggressive.
Really aggressive.
So if you put a spoiler on it or you make it look more aggressive, fine. But tourbillon is such an elegant car. It's the way they also presented it, you know, with all the physical mechanisms and whatever.
Very
Very mechanical thing. And now they're like, oh, let's make it sporty and let's put an Alcantara steering wheel inside. I don't know. I'm feeling a bit off with it. So,
It has new front bumpers, new rear bumpers, new wing.
Yeah.
As well. So it has some vertical slits on it, which look quite cool.
it looks really cool,
But the 8 exhaust, it feels like it escaped from Pimp My Ride.
yeah, or some Grand Theft Auto mods, which is not ideal.
And
no
yeah,
idea.
as you said, it's an optional extra, and
I don't know how much it will be.
I know.
But
I think
300.
tourbillon starts at 5 million.
Yeah, so I think a package like this is 200,000-300,000
At least, yeah.
at least. Yeah.
And they should have, or maybe could have made a separate model out of it.
Yeah. Just hold on for it, because you know the tourbillons are already very limited. So just get the most out of it. I don't understand why just putting like this random, because then we will have owners who will go for that optional package because it will be more rare or more exclusive instead of going just for a classic spec.
Yeah, but imagine everyone is going for the more rare package, and then
and then
selecting the package is going to be more rare.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I would go just for a very classic tourbillon kind of spec that would suit the design of the car.
Yeah, I wouldn't be because
Very weird. But
it's a bit over the top.
yeah, and yeah, Bugatti just launched it out of the blue. Very weird marketing thing. So
Do you know when they will start deliveries?
end of this year.
Really?
End of this year will be the first delivery.
Wow.
So that's gonna be really cool to see
Okay.
these cars on the roads.
Yeah, because I thought development started late last year, so that's
Super slow.
super fast.
Yeah, because now not everybody's making their configurations, but they are making the first configurations. So we will see normally first cars arrive October, November.
Wow.
If everything goes to plan.
Really interesting. I really want to hear it.
I really want to hear the sound.
Because we've heard of, or we've all seen a few of the videos floating around. And
Yeah,
it looks,
of Matei shares some behind the scenes stuff.
yeah,
but
it's
still-
cool to see that he shares this much going on into development and all, because
it's stuff we're never gonna see otherwise.
it's unheard of in the automotive industry.
He's like the only guy who does stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like,
He also had the Christmas jumper from Aldi that he posted on his story during Christmas. It was super. Like CEO of Bugatti and Imats, and it's like Aldi.
so it's cool they share the stuff, but I want to hear myself that V16.
Yeah, and see how loud it's.
How loud? Because apparently it's super loud.
or how loud they're allowed to make it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Different regulations.
indeed. It's gonna be a beautiful car to see on the roads. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But yeah, that's most of the news we've covered.
Yeah, for this week, it was a lot of news though.
Yeah, a lot of news.
A lot of new car stuff. It's good. We love it.
Yeah, good.
Love
Really looking forward, especially to like the Turbo 3. I hope we can drive one. It'll be
incredible.
difficult because it's a limited car, but I hope we can drive one.
There are plenty. It's not like they're making 100, so we should be able to get our hands on one, I think. But I do hope we will be able to see them, that they just don't end up in collections or whatever. Just I want people to.
Yeah, they should be driven.
Definitely. Definitely.
But now onto a different topic, or more like a discussion. So we have so many cars these days, and especially with social media, it's easy for a car to gain a lot of status. But what are actually cars or what's the most overrated car, and what's a car that really is undervalued and should be paid more attention to?
All right.
So you can start.
Yeah, I made up my mind. It wasn't easy, but I think it's. Yeah, people, please do not shoot me. I will explain to you. It's the latest Range Rover, the big one. Yeah, I think it's so overrated because the previous gens were just so good.
They are really good. Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to drive a few of them, and cars with 300,000-400,000 kilometers on it, and they still looked incredibly good from the outside. The inside, the finishing quality was next level, to be honest. Engine-wise too, not a lot of big troubles with these cars. And with this one, I really have the feeling that the status and the first looks were more important than the quality of the entire car. And it starts with opening the door. You know, it also, of course, it has this crazy door handle that pops out, which feels super plastic.
But yeah, that's.
And when you open the door, you can feel that it feels like super light. And I'm like, the moment you open the door, you're like, this doesn't feel solid somehow.
I do understand, but you cannot say anything wrong about the driving of the car.
It's not about the driving, it's just the quality inside, that it doesn't feel that luxurious when you see the amount you pay for it. Because it starts at 140, which is a lot of money. And then if you go for an autobiography or an SUV or whatever, you're easily at 180, 190, 200 plus. And for 200,000 euros, it doesn't feel like a 200,000 euros. An X5, for example, is better finished.
I don't agree.
I really do think that the finishing quality of, for example, an X5 is much better. There's less plastic. The leather feels in general, the quality, the screens in the Land Rover or Range Rover aren't that incredible.
They're super high resolution. So
I don't have that feeling when I'm driving it, and
I think that they're
And I saw I saw a few cars with 5, 10, 15,000 kilometers on the odometer. And you can really see that the quality isn't what it used to be before, and that everything suffers a little bit more. Definitely the leather parts, definitely the few plastic parts, you can see them become like shiny bright, and I'm like, what a shame, because in general it's an incredibly good car.
It's an incredibly good car.
And people now buy them for the status that it delivers, and I don't buy a car for that. And you can see it because people care more about the way it makes them look than about the actual driving, because they drive superb. Huh? I have nothing to say.
I would say then if you're comparing, a G63 is more overrated, but I didn't pick that car.
I would never recommend the G63 to anyone. Just get a good deal. But that's a thing I miss a bit. And just with because the Defender, for example, that's still a very solid one. And it looks good, and everything looks fine. And
it's funny you say that if you're talking about the interior, because I really like the interior of the Range Rover. I think the seats, they're so comfortable.
Yeah.
Quality-wise, everyone uses a car differently, and yeah, we should essentially see in a few years after they've done some proper miles how they look. But I understand your point. But I think that the Defender, the interior choice with it feels a bit like a wetsuit the type of cloth in the Defender.
Okay.
And I really like it, but the problem is I've done off-roading with one once, and I got a lot of mud into the interior, as you would because you're stepping out. And
Exactly. Yeah.
it was nearly impossible to clean out.
Really?
It's so difficult. I spent like an hour just polishing one place to get it out and using a lot of water to get, because it absorbs pores and.
But that's the silly part, you know. People design a really good looking car because it is a good looking car.
It's a really good looking car,
but it stops there a bit. They're not like, wait, people are using it for this and this and this.
I would say because it has active noise cancelling, so it's super quiet inside as well. It rides super well. The one I've driven, it was like, I thought it was on 20-inch wheels, and it turned out to be 23. That's how comfortable it was. But yeah,
and it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Incredible. And I think there's more. I think there's better cars on the market if you look at the entire package.
Within that budget, what would you buy?
I would get myself an X7 30D.
Yeah, but I think
and I'd be 60,000 euros cheaper.
Yeah, but I think that doesn't match it.
Really?
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially in comfort.
I really do think they're able to be matched. Yeah. So that's a thing. Yeah, I love the car, but it's just a quality issue. And the thing is, the people who buy them, they don't really care about that because they just want.
No, but that's true. And
they're not the people who are going to keep the cars.
It's a big status symbol.
Yeah. And they just get a new one when there's a new model, and they don't keep the car for 8 or 10 years, which is quite a shame too. Yeah. And then that Range Rover, the people at Range Rover are like, okay, fine, we don't care. And like, people just want an incredibly good-looking car which gives them a certain status, and that's what that's for us. But they could do so much more.
It's a bit of an issue of the current times.
Exactly.
It's not only Range Rover.
It's the current times, but indeed in the Range Rover it's more obvious to me.
Okay.
And you see them on every corner of the street. That's the crazy part. I'm like, where does everybody get 200,000 euros to spend on a Range Rover?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's very expensive, and you see them a lot. So, and before it was more rare too. So,
I think if you're buying, and this is the last thing I'll say about it because I want to go on to my car. If you're buying one, I think it's one of the only luxurious cars that can pull off a bold color.
Exactly, no doubt about it.
Like
you can go crazy in the configuration of it.
I've once seen, it was a previous one, but I've once seen an orange one. My God!
But they have some truly spectacular colors, like even these chameleon type of colors. Yeah. Okay, they cost a fortune, but on a Range Rover somehow, they managed to pull it off.
So my car is
now people are gonna definitely shoot bro.
My car is the Audi RS6, the latest one. Because it's the one on sale. And I do think the performance solved a little bit of the issues I had with the car. Okay, but still, I think it's such an overrated car for what it is, what it does. Starting with the power, it's more than 600 horsepower, but when you're actually pushing it to the floor, it feels 500 or 550 max.
That's with a lot of cars nowadays.
Yeah, but if you're comparing it, but if you're like saying, if you see the drag race video of the RS6 versus the M3 Touring, the M3 Touring is faster with 100 less horsepower.
But it's lying.
Yeah, okay, but it's a bigger car, it's a more expensive car, and also it's an Audi, and especially in the wet, it really suffered, apparently.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're at a point where the X-Drive system apparently works better than the Quattro system.
Okay.
In the ring. It's such a wide car.
I do like that.
But it's like 70 millimeters wider than a normal A6, and it feels so out of place in a small town or in a regular town.
Okay.
You're hugging the white lines, and the steering is also less to be desired of. The gearbox is really slow, and then it tries to do some artificial pushes when you're going half throttle, and
Honestly, I do love it.
I also think
the R6.
I think it also it's too much, the looks, because it's a fast estate. It should be a little more understated. It's so wide, it's so aggressive. The previous one looked much better, the C7.
Yeah, but the C7 is like peak gen.
Yeah, obviously,
so-
but yeah, even C6 looks better.
Yeah, C6 was also a very good looking car. Audi makes a lot
No,
of
but
good looking cars.
yeah, but I would rather have an A6 in looks than an R6 of this generation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I do think it looks incredible. Definitely with the aluminium like we have behind on the screen here. I have just a problem with the way they finish the diffuser over the exhaust tips because it looks a bit weird somehow. But besides that, it's just an incredible car, and it has that heritage thing.
Yeah, it has the heritage, but I feel like it's
And it's
it's like, okay, so I'm the new car here. I have the heritage, so I don't need to prove anything. So I'll throw everything out of the window. Fast? Sorry, I'm not.
No, but it's
yeah.
a bit of the same now with the Range Rover. People buy it because it's an RS6. People buy it because it's a Range Rover, and they don't really care about everything that follows. Is the quality not that incredible? Doesn't bother. Is the performance not incredible? Doesn't bother.
Yeah.
And I have a bit of the same feeling right here with the RS6. Indeed, it's not faster than the outgoing gen.
No, it's like it's equal or
It's equal, I think. Because it's the same amount of power as the RS6 performance, the outgoing thing.
Yeah.
So it's not the
and
big of a difference.
It has very weird handling characteristics.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know what
They try to do some things with the rear diff,
but the driving of the old gen is much better.
It's like from time to time it will do Audi stuff like you.
Audi stuff.
Yeah, it just a little bit heavy on the nose. Not a big issue with it, but then suddenly you're like lifting off, and the back starts for no reason because they're like, oh, let's lock the rear wheels. Like it goes sideways.
But people buy it to go from A to B in the most comfortable way.
But it's not comfortable.
I need to.
No,
Come on, super comfortable. Really?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's comfortable.
Okay. Yeah.
It's more comfortable than the
It's also
the Mini Aceman I'm driving now. So.
Okay, yeah, but totally different. No, I think it's not comfortable because the wheels are too big.
But it's also a general car thing.
Yeah, but
Bigger the
it,
wheels,
it,
the
it all
cooler.
just adds up, and it's like, why would you buy this? Just that, and that's just because of the name, but because I think there's much better performing cars. Okay, you can't get an E63 right now, but
Exactly.
the E63 was much better. The M5 I haven't driven, but
The 5 is a very good car.
see, yeah, and Audi was peak. If you bought a C6, a C7, or a C5, they were always the best wagons you can buy. And I think this one misses the mark.
Yeah, the 63 was better though.
See?
Yeah, it was more. It meshed more with the AMG style of a car in this lacks a bit of that RS character. So I do get you. I do understand. But I still love it. So.
I'm not saying it's not a good looking car, but I think it could have been a
It's
little
good
bit more below the radar. Because I think they really made a status symbol out of the C8. It always had the status that from the RS6, but they really leaned into it now to sell more than they did before.
Of course.
Because before they didn't really care and they made it however they wanted.
Exactly. Yeah, now it's more a marketing kind of car. I understand. It's important to sell these things to keep them alive too. So.
True. But maybe let's go to then underrated cars.
Yeah, cooler. A funnier topic instead of trashing a car.
Sorry, Audi. I really like your cars, and
Boys never getting to drive an Audi ever again.
I
Blacklist.
I really like the interior of the C8.
Okay.
I really like because with
It's
the
not because you like
touchscreen.
the interior that you'll be able to drive it again, but try.
No, but just the normal A6. Oh, they don't make it anymore. That's not. Yeah, I just actually realized that I've been going on with this car, and I'm not sure if it's even for sale anymore.
RS6, apparently you still can buy one.
Okay,
Yeah, still
but
can buy one.
not the A6. Well, because it's a new one now.
Yeah, but RS6 normally,
Okay.
you're still able to buy one, but I'm not sure if it's going to be for...
Okay, thank God, because that would have been awkward.
It's not for sale.
Let's edit this out.
Right, but then cars we do love.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I picked this one.
Okay.
Flying Spur.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, a completely underrated car, I think, because everybody's so focused on the Continental GT or the Bentayga, because it's a more evident choice for many people. I mean, we need a big car, so let's go for a super SUV again.
Yeah, or we need more like a weekend car. Let's go for a Continental.
Exactly. And so these super luxury saloon cars, it's like against a dying breed, because the Contraporte is dead, for example. Don't see it anymore. Which is very sad. It's a super beautiful car. And same for the Flying Spur. It's a really good looking car. It's a driver's car, so that's nice. You can enjoy sitting in front, behind the steering wheel. You can enjoy sitting in the back while having fun on the rear seat entertainment stuff and guiding your driver and work with on something. So it's a really good car that does everything incredibly well, but it's not a marketing car.
True. And I've been. This has just gone through my head. I think it would be less underrated if it wasn't called a Continental Flying Spur, but if it was just now transitioned into the Mulsanne.
For example, yeah, it would have been better
because
the status of the car probably.
Yeah, also because the Mulsanne was top notch, and I think this almost equals it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely nowadays.
And yeah, it's its separate model, and you're not having like, I'm just driving a longer Continental. Is that it? Yeah,
exactly. And it's quite funny because with the brand new generation of the Bentley we saw with the how do you call it again?
Hybrid system.
The incredible high performance hybrid system indeed. The V8 4-liter with what is it, 800 horsepower, crazy numbers. They also did a redesign of the GT and the GTC.
Yeah,
but not for the Flying Spur.
You see, so
it's super weird that they keep that car really on a completely different level, but it still got the upgrade on the engine. So it got the new hybrid tech.
Really?
It got everything, but it was like it was launched somewhere and we didn't talk about it. So
I think
that's the problem, because the brand doesn't really care about the car. I have the ID, and I'm like, it's an incredibly good car. And they're like, oh, we don't sell that many of them. That's weird. It's crazy.
We don't sell a lot of the cars we don't market.
Exactly.
Why?
And again, it's an incredibly machine, and yeah, it with the thing that it didn't get the restyling of the headlights.
Yeah.
Which the GT and the GTC did. Same for the rear lights. On the outside, the car still looks the same. I'm like,
yeah, because I didn't realize it was. I thought it was just left behind.
No, it did got the completely upgrade.
Okay.
Because imagine 800 horsepower in a Flying Spur. That's bonkers. It's super cool. But on styling wise, they really want to keep it. Yeah, like you said, maybe in a new Mulsanne. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they just should have dropped it last year.
Yeah,
and then reintroduced it
as the new Mulsanne.
The new Mulsanne,
and maybe a little bit more features and maybe extra personalization
posh.
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed. But I think it will work better because it's still Continental now.
Yeah, and that's why it's, in my opinion, such an underrated car, which really deserves a lot more love, because I've been able to drive one and it's such a good car. It's really incredible. Problem is now with the new hybrid system, these cars got so expensive that there's a lot of competition, and you quickly opt for a different kind of car, which is a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Because they used to be easily 150,000 euros, 200,000 euros below Rolls Royce. And now that gap is so thin that the step to Rolls Royce is not that far away. And then you get another kind of
it's a different
luxury. And
I mean, there's also always a competition, but yeah, it's a different.
yeah, but now
They cater to different people.
exactly. But still, now they're trashing on windows, I think. So, difficult car, which really deserves more love. Sad story.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about high class cars. So, my choice is not bottom class, but it's a little low. It's actually the new E-Class 300 diesel hybrid.
Diesel hybrids, I love them.
And yeah, that's why we just released the review last week.
Yeah. Watch it, please.
Watch it. It's such.
It's
a
very
great
interesting.
car. Essentially, the E-Class is a very good car. Once again, it's such a You can't say anything bad about it. Maybe the new infotainment with the super screen is worse than what it was before, or what was it like in the C class, because I prefer how it is in the C and the S class.
Exactly. With the setup of the screen.
It works very well, and it rides so nicely. With the hybrid system as well, I think it has like 90 kilometers or 90 to 100
Yeah, I
kilometers.
know the hybrid systems of Mercedes are almost at 100 kilometers.
Yeah, so for day to day, to be honest, I don't think there's a lot of people that drive
over 100 kilometers a day.
Yeah, and or if you're going like to drive 80 or kilometers for your work, you plug it in
at work,
and then you come back home. And even on longer trips, let's say you're driving all the way to the south of France.
Still got a solid diesel engine that is.
You have a solid diesel engine that can really stretch its legs. It's super efficient. They've done some really cool stuff. They have the same nano friction coating that they use in the F1 cars on the cylinder walls. So it's really proper. I think you can get 4 liters out of it.
Really?
Yeah. And the thing also is, with the hybrid system, it has the ability to fast charge up to 50 kilowatt. So even if you're saying like, okay, we're going to the south of France, but let's stop on the way
and charge it while
and charge it and just charge it a little bit while you're off to to the bathroom or having a small lunch, and you can use the additional electric power to further aid the hybrid system, or you can just save it until you're on your destination.
Yeah, indeed.
And I think Mercedes is one of the only ones that does fast charging on hybrids.
I didn't know about that. So exactly, it's very.
I've driven an S-Class for a week once, and I did half of it with the electric system. Yeah.
And then with the range of 80, 90, 100 kilometers, it's plenty for daily commute. And diesel hybrids, it's a shame that there are not more brands working on this tech, because it makes more sense to me than a petrol engine.
True, because you're using
combos.
The electric for short range, and then for longer range you use the diesel, and the diesel is more superior in efficiency compared to petrol on longer.
So the combined consumption will be so much more lower in a diesel hybrid.
Yeah,
which is silly.
Yeah, it's a really, really interesting car. It works really well. Watch the review. Go and drive one. It's such. It's probably the best hybrid you can buy.
Okay, wow, that's solid. Okay.
Yeah, if you're looking for an all-in daily package, which is what most hybrids do, because you don't want to go electric, because you don't want to spend all this time waiting.
Exactly, you still want to be able to drive 1,000 kilometers.
Yeah, for your holidays, which I understand. I also like to drive just until I'm there.
Yeah.
No need to stretch legs.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, you have, and in a lot of cases, you have financial benefits as well, the economical benefits of
the hybrid. Two of these things is like 17, 19.
Yeah, it's
nothing.
Yeah, because I think they do the combined cycle on 100 kilometers, so then there's not a lot of things they have to do on the diesel system. Yeah.
Really cool.
really cool car.
I never driven one, but I'm really excited to get my hands on one just to see how good it actually is.
Just and I look at the picture now, and that's a topic I want to discuss. Can we discuss it now, or
Sure, go for it. Go for it.
door handles?
Door handles. Oh my god.
This
one has the messy door handles too.
What happened to door handles?
But with every car manufacturer, I don't get it.
Because, and yeah, I said it again. Just go to the review, and if you don't want to watch the full review, just watch like the first 30 seconds. You can hear the door handles pull in. It's like
I really like that. Oh my god.
it's really noisy. Yeah,
That's it.
it's such a hassle. They come out. Okay, look, maybe it looks cool, but what happened to them? It's everyone wants to do some weird things, and
Yeah, or it's door handles that go in like that, like with Range Rover or Mercedes-Benz, or it's like BMW and Mini, where you have like door handles that are or Porsche too. And the amount of times I want to open the door with BMW, I'm like, fuck, my hand flies off.
yeah.
I'm like, annoying.
Yeah, what was wrong with like
classic
just
door
yeah?
handle. And also
Because I don't think it can be that much for aerodynamic benefit, right?
Definitely not. It's not gonna save you 2 liters.
Or if you like a lead aerodynamicist, please let us know in the comments.
That would be.
I would be very interested to hear the benefit. But
It's
even then, we've had things like the F-Type where you push and then pull,
yeah, but that's still pretty cool.
and it's
like
also
like
something
the
that
Martin thing. I think that's nice.
yeah.
But the problem is too with closing of the doors. You know, a door handle is to open the door.
Yeah, but
also
you can also
to close the door.
Yeah, because otherwise you have to put your fingers
On
onto
the
it.
paint,
Yeah.
and with these cars, okay, with Mercedes it's fine, but for example, Mini or BMW, you're like, oh, how do I close the door?
Yeah,
It's so complicated. I don't get it.
and
And
it's an extra part to break.
an extra
essentially,
part to break, and
especially if they come out.
I do think that, okay, now we're going quite far in my thinking maybe, but a door handle used to be a big part of the design feature of a car too.
True.
And now with the door handle just being inside of the shape or being such a minimalistic part, it's not playing a major role in design.
Yeah,
And it's quite a shame.
It's
If
in
you
a
look at-
way.
If you look at
Yes,
modern
and no,
cars,
no.
like I used to work for BMW for quite a year, so I got all the design lessons and stuff. And when the design team is telling us, yeah, we did the door handle right through, so the lines go straight through it. I'm like, yes, that's pretty. It's good looking. And now we have you don't see it, but we have an M2, a brand new one sitting next to us, and you can see that the line of the car, the strong side line of the body is going over the door handle.
It's there, and then just blows the door handle.
Yeah, such a shame that. And if you look at the F Gen of BMW,
I never paid attention to it, but I have to pay attention to it.
beautifully finished in that strong sideline of the car, which gives the car a much prettier look in general, because the door handle also just floats in that line. It's really silly, and the door handle didn't bother, whereas now it bothers me.
Yeah, because I really like design that works.
And Mercedes too, they have these chrome lines on the door handles.
I do think that the chrome is quite a nice touch.
Yes, if you have a chrome around the windows, for example, but if you have
Yeah,
a shadow line,
Yeah.
it doesn't work anymore. So, and then again, it's
People with child line is maybe a different topic as well.
yeah,
Let's stick to doors.
but it's indeed another thing that can break too,
Yeah, true.
which is not ideal.
And yeah, as you said, it's just it's the ease of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's something that saw, and it should be easy, and they're just overcomplicating things
Yeah,
to be more upmarket.
Exactly. Yeah. And people also underestimate the cost of something like that's going to break.
Yeah, because indeed, especially if we're talking about these handles, I think you would be way better with designing a normal handle that's really, really solid, has a really nice feel, and a door that opens really nicely.
Yeah, because it's something you use
Then
a
a
lot.
full
So
electronic system, because it's not only that you have to build the electronics, but you also have to program it. for
Not
it
that easy.
to come out and
I
so
work
much
all the
money.
time.
Yeah, so much money.
And you
going
use
into
it that often if it's a feature that you use, I don't know, once every 10 or 20 times when you're driving a car, I wouldn't bother, But a door handle is something you're using all the time. Kids pulling at them.
Especially, like, I was really impressed or surprised on the E-Class. They're so noisy compared to the S-Class.
That's weird, yeah. Yes, us don't hear them.
No, you
just
don't. You don't hear them, and then I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's a shame. And it's not a feature that I do like. Sometimes, just sticking to a good old thing that works isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Apple did the same thing with the MacBooks, for example. Oh, let's remove every HDMI SD port. Let's make it all USB-C.
Yeah, and everyone started complaining.
And everybody was like,
because you have to buy 5 dongles.
Exactly. And now on the new, it's been 4 or 5 years now. We have like an SD reader. We have like an HDMI port. I'm like, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Why are car brands not doing this?
Well, I think we're maybe coming at a turning point where the gimmicks are going back.
Well,
Going away,
well,
and
Volkswagen not using touch panels anymore. It's small things, but we're getting there.
And it's just like the automotive industry is just a very. It takes some time to catch up on a trend in the automotive industry. And it also takes time
because the lifespan of a car is longer than.
Yeah, because as we're speaking with the E-Class, they're already built halfway through the development of the next one. So
exactly. So we might see it on the other one or on the.
Very interesting to see. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, but I think it's nice to end on a rant.
Yeah, indeed. Should do that more.
Yeah. If you have your own discussions or comments about any of the topics we did, feel free to let us know in the comments.
I'm really curious to know what you guys think of our rants.
What's your favorite door handle?
That's a cool one.
I don't have one now, but maybe we can start with it.
Oof, yeah, that's a good one.
Maybe we can start it with in the next podcast.
We'll find our favorite door handle.
Yeah.
Of cars currently for sale.
Okay, currently for sale.
Yeah.
That'll narrow it down a little bit.
I'm gonna continue on the door handles. On the GT3 RS, the brand new one, you still have classic door handles.
Yeah, they don't have a lot. Oh yeah, are they still like where they come up with like?
No. On the GT3 RS, so the 992, you have a classic door handle where you put your hand behind.
Yes,
it's not the thing that pops out like.
No, it doesn't come. But when you pull it, it like it's in an angle and it comes up. It's not like vertical pulling. It's like a little bit up.
No. It's really like that. The classic one. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Why? Because it's just lighter.
See.
That's the reason. Yeah. And on the regular 992, nobody cares. But on the GT3 RS, mindset is keep them light. So let's put
the mindset for more things.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So let's put a normal door handle on it, and it's a car from track, so it should go fast. So aerodynamics with a normal door handle can be fine.
Yeah. So see, if you're taking that, if a GT3 doesn't have flush door handles because there's no benefit.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's watch Porsche a little more with those things. But it's
watch them do flat door handles on the face.
Damn it! Don't be stupid.
Okay, but let's wrap up here, and we hope to see you on the next one.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.